Hello and welcome to this segment of Rise and Shine. I'm Amar Singh Pradhan. Vehicles and motor cars have long been a status symbol in a rich country or a developing country like ours. To own a car was once considered a luxury, but in recent times, the new emerging middle-class families and a booming banking sector, more middle-class families are coming forward to make this once labeled luxury item a thing of necessity. And to talk about vehicles, especially Tata Motors, we have invited here with us today Johnny Oommen, I beg your pardon, head of passenger car and international business at Tata Motors. Welcome to Kantipur Television.
Thank you.
And I'd like to begin by asking, when we talk about the popularity of Tata Motors, especially in India and Nepal, it almost takes proverbial forms. What's the position of Tata Motors, especially in Nepali market?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me here. You know, Tata Motors has a very long history in Nepal. We are, this year, going to be celebrating 35 years of our presence in Nepal. Passenger vehicles, in fact, will be completing 25 years this year. We entered a little later. For us, Nepal is actually not just one of the closest markets. So typically, you know, we have a very close relationship with the market in terms of virtually all our products finding their way into the market. But we also have a strong position in the marketplace. So over the years, expectation going forward, and that's the work that we are doing currently to ensure that our position goes stronger. Just to give you an example, the market, of course, has seen its ups and downs over the last 5 years. So there have been various reasons. There was a natural disaster a few years back. Right now, we are faced with a liquidity crisis in the market. But even though the market's gone up and down, we've actually been working on how we can strengthen our position.
All right. So has Tata Motors undertaken any strategies recently or in the past to increase its stake in the Nepali market?
Most certainly. I think traditionally Nepal, owing to its terrain, has been favorable for Tata Motors for a certain type of vehicle. So just to give you an example, this Tata Sumo is a very popular vehicle in Nepal, and it plies on routes all over the country. In fact, you might be aware that you know, a lot of people, and in fact, I think even the advertising for the Sumo says "Naame Kafi Cha," and it's a brand that a lot of Nepal believes in very strongly. However, if we look at the market, obviously it's a growing market. It's a very young market. We would like to actually improve the lives of customers across all segments. And that's what we are working on. So if you look at the last 2 years, we've brought in 4 new products. So in 2015, we brought in the Tata Zest, followed it a few months later with the Tata Bolt. Last August, which is August 2016, we brought in the Tata Tiago. And just yesterday, we launched the Tata Tigor. So we are trying to expand our presence in the market with our latest introductions. All these products are state-of-the-art and really address or aim to address the vast spectrum of Nepal.
All right. So these new products are especially targeted at Nepali market, or it's a global market?
These are all global products. So typically we have various engineering and design centers all over the world working together to bring these products. Tata Motors has design centers apart from India in Pune, in South Korea, the UK and Italy. So our engineers and designers from all these places actually come together in putting these cars, in conceptualizing and putting these cars together.
All right. So you talked about the popularity of Tata Sumo, which is, I think, very suitable for the Nepali terrain. Has there been any other popular products of Tata in Nepal?
Yes, traditionally we've had products like the Tata Safari, the Indica, but as they say in automobiles, every product needs to be reincarnated as the market evolves, as the market grows, as customer tastes, consumer tastes change. We've obviously kept this in mind while developing a product portfolio. Nepal, as I mentioned earlier, is a very young country. It is a market where car penetration, which is the number of cars per 1,000 people, is still very, very low. So it's an underserved market. We know that a lot of the young Nepalis have huge aspirations going forward. And typically, aspirations, a key part of this aspiration is four wheels. And we are trying to bring in products at every segment so that we can become part of their lives.
All right. So as you said, there is this growing or emerging middle class families. The living standard of Nepal is also increasing in recent time. So have you specifically taken into consideration regarding the manufacturing of some specific car in the Nepali market?
The idea of manufacturing usually makes sense when there are other barriers which affect the importation of cars. So in this case, your question is valid in the sense that the taxation on cars in Nepal is extremely punishing. So it's unfortunate that Nepali customers actually end up paying relatively higher prices for cars.
Exactly.
However, that's the government policy, and that's not an area we wish to comment on. But the point is that for manufacturing or assembly of vehicles in any market to make sense, the market needs to be of a certain size. Today, Nepal is a relatively small market. Even last year, which was the highest year ever for passenger vehicles, the total industry volume was only 18,000 vehicles, which does not justify even, as a total number, the setting up of an assembly or manufacturing plant. So as the market evolves, as the market grows, perhaps there will be scope for us or other players to evaluate the possibility of assembly or manufacturing. But today, I think it's far too early.
All right. And I think it will also be relevant to talk about Tata Nano. That was especially targeted at the growing, emerging middle-class families. How well was it received in India and Nepal?
The reception to the car actually was fantastic. I think we discovered that at the time that we brought in the Nano, at the same time, aspirations of customers were actually moving in a direction where they desired a lot more content and a lot more features in even an entry-level car. And over time, we have actually put in a lot more features and content into the Nano, and it's been a beautiful journey for us. So today, the car is well established, it's well accepted. However, as I mentioned earlier, for the Nepali customer, I think the entry point today already starts at a certain higher price point. So we are always evaluating possibilities, and while we did introduce the Nano in Nepal way back in 2011, and we did get an initially good response. In fact, all the Nano customers that we have met and talked to are extremely satisfied with the product. Because of certain other reasons, be it terrain, be it traffic conditions, the car did not see the kind of numbers that we were hoping to achieve. However, it is still on the table. It is an option that we have, and at the right time we could think of bringing it back
All right,
to the country.
okay. And when we talk about the motor market in Nepal, I think the service center and the availability of the motor parts are taken simultaneously. So what is Tata Motors' position in this regard?
You know, we are extremely fortunate that we've had a very strong, very successful, very trusted partner in Nepal, Shiksha Trading. And we've been partners, as I said, for this year, 35 years. We will be completing a partnership.
All right.
Thanks to their network and distribution strength, Tata passenger vehicles are actually available in 20 sales points and 24 service points all over Nepal. In the next 6 months, we are looking to add another 2 service points, one in Kathmandu and another in Bhaktapur. Add to that the fact that, you know, for a lot of customers, parts availability, parts pricing is a concern. So we are also looking to appoint spare part retailers all over the country.
All right. And in a different context, car manufacturers these days are also involved in some social campaignings as part of their corporate social responsibility. What's Tata Motors' position in this regard?
You know, I think we take this very, very seriously. I think Tata, as you rightly mentioned at the beginning, in fact, it has a history of nation building. And a lot of the time that we do business, we do it with the intent of giving back to society. In Nepal, just to give you 2 recent examples, more recently we did a program called Shiksha Ecology test drive, where we actually tied up with schools. And the idea was that for every test drive, you know, customers took, we would actually donate a certain amount of money to the school. And it was a very successful program with, I think, us getting 6,000 people. So for us, it's not just what we do, it's what we get the people around us to think and do together with us. Before that, we had also tied up with schools specifically for girl children in Nepal, where we tried to promote their extracurricular abilities.
All right. Okay. And talking about now the issues of climate change, global warming, and how is Tata Motors looking into the carbon emission rate?
So this is a subject that is obviously of key import to manufacturers all over the world, for the entire industry in general. And actually, the industry is taking a turn more towards alternative technology. So you would be aware that while the internal combustion engine is still predominant in automobiles, the world is slowly moving towards hybrids, electrics, and other technologies, be it autonomous, etc. Clearly, Tata Motors is very serious about emissions, and I think every year we do register improvements through our engine performance to ensure that the emissions that our cars release are controlled, are reduced progressively. We are also, at the same time, I mentioned the various engineering and design centers, working towards possible alternative technologies. It is true that emerging markets, such as Nepal, may not see these technologies in the immediate future, but the fact is, going forward, once infrastructure is in place, we do expect these technologies to become more present in this market.
All right. So has there been any kind of suggestions from these regulatory agencies regarding the carbon emission rate of Tata Motors?
No, not in particular. As I said, it's something that we monitor on our own, and we always strive to bring to the norms that have been prescribed by the concerned authorities in every country.
Okay. And if you have to rate Nepal's car market, under what category would you like to put it?
Oh, I would, as I mentioned earlier, you know, there are 2 or 3 things. One is its under-penetrated. So the car penetration, cars per thousand is still very low. People are young. I understand the average age of the male in Nepal is 22. The average age of the female in Nepal is 25. So even if we combine that, you're at about 23 years of age as a country, which to me is a very encouraging sign of future growth and future potential. I believe that with these two factors, we should be seeing an economy and an automobile industry that's actually that actually presents a whole lot of optimism. So I would rate it as today being a developing one, but with the potential of being one of the significant markets in Asia.
All right. And where do you see the position of Tata Motors in the global market?
So today, if we were to look at, let's say, the top 20 players in the world in passenger vehicles, we would probably be at number 15. Here again, I must point out the ambition is not always to become the largest in volume necessarily. The ambition is to become a brand that customers prefer. You need not be offering every car possible in the market. We believe that it's more important to offer superior products in the segments that we operate. So in Nepal, we have set ourselves the goal of becoming a strong top 3 player in the market. And we are confident of being able to achieve this in the near term. We have seen improvements in our market share in successive terms. Last year, we registered a market share of about 11%. This year, till date, we are already close to 15%. So we do see a lot of potential for ourselves, and we also are looking at strengthening our position in the marketplace.
All right, and in a slightly different context, having Lionel Messi, a football star, as a brand ambassador, is it some kind of attempt to globalize your product?
Partly, yes, but I think the more important point here is that somebody like Lionel Messi has a universal appeal and at the same time immediately conveys youth and, shall I say, a sense of vibrancy, which we believe today's young customer all over the world, certainly in Nepal, also would identify with. And I think if you look at what's happening at Tata Motors, we embarked on a product journey 4 years ago where we resolved to bring in products that were not just state-of-the-art and world-class, but in each segment, perhaps the best alternative that you could get given the features, the technology, the content that we would be putting in our cars. And I think with each introduction, I mentioned the 4 that we've done in 2 years, we've actually seen our market acceptance improve. We've actually seen our market share grow.
All right. Yeah. And given the fact that India is a country where cricket is more popular than football, I think it must have been some kind of dilemma to use some Indian cricket stars as a brand ambassador?
That's an interesting question. You know, every process such as this obviously involves a lot of research, a lot of fact-finding, a lot of investigation into what today's youth is really looking at. And you might be surprised to know that a footballer like Lionel Messi actually scores very, very high, even in a market like India, because of the kind of appeal and the kind of, shall I say, stature he has carved out for himself. And then the fit with what Tata Motors wanted to convey. So, looked at it another way, maybe cricketing stars are already overused in that sense, and we needed to break the clutter and do something different.
All right. And given the fact that India itself is a huge economy, it also must be a dilemma to whether focus in India itself or in the global market.
Yes, that's an interesting question. I think India is a large market. There is a lot that we can do in India. But the point is that when there are other growing high potential markets like Nepal, other parts of Asia, Africa, Latin America, we are quite resolved in taking our brand and taking our product portfolio to markets across the world.
All right. And where do you see Tata Motors 10 years from now in the Nepali market and in the global market?
In the next 1 year, I see ourselves as a strong top 3 player. And I think going forward, we are looking at actually strengthening our product portfolio and substantially improving our sales and service experience in the market, so that we would be, when it comes to shopping for cars, right on top of the shopping list for the Nepali customer.
All right. Finally, my last question. Any suggestions for car users in Nepal and our valued audience?
Well, I would only say that, for me, it's always a pleasure to come to Nepal. This time I'm here largely because of two significant reasons. We will be celebrating our 25th year for passenger cars in Nepal. We've just launched the Tata Tigor, which is a styleback. We call it that because it's a very unique vehicle with a breakaway silhouette design melding into the boot, and with a whole host of features when it comes to technology, comfort, and convenience. And the second big reason was that it was my privilege to participate in the inauguration of the largest passenger vehicle showroom for Tata Motors right here in Kathmandu. And that's the largest passenger vehicle showroom all over Nepal for any brand. So we're very proud of these two things, and I would invite your valued audience and all our customers and prospects out there to please visit our showroom and to also try out the new Tata Tigor as well as the whole host of other exciting products.
All right. Thank you, sir. It was nice talking to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And that was Johnny Oommen, head of passenger car and international business Tata Motors, talking to us about the prospects of Tata Motors in Nepali market. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.